Why are you protecting Soldier Boy?
Soldier Boy used to slap me around a little bit, all right? It's just hazing that went too far, all right? Whole nuclear meltdown thing. It was just bullshit.
Do you know that? What killed him?
I don't know. We're working with the CIA.
Who was your case officer?
Grace Mallory, all right? I told you everything I know.
I know you did. But it don't change what you are.
Hey guys, what's happening? Niyat here with Film Comics Explained. And, as requested, today we're diving back into The Boys. Portrayed by Karl Urban, William Bully Butcher is one of the main protagonists and the leader of the eponymous team bent on taking down Vought and the Seven. He's basically a Cockney Punisher.
A multi-billion-dollar global industry supported by corporate lobbyists and politicians on both sides. But the main reason that you won't hear about it is because the public don't want to know about it.
A former member of the British Special Forces turned vigilante, Butcher is as manipulative as he is cunning. He's a force of nature that can talk almost anyone into anything, either through a smile, brute force, or a smooth combination of both.
All you're gonna do is lie and say how you're doing fine, and I'm gonna lie and pretend like I'm happy to see you.
It'll be different this go, right? Now that secrets and lies bollocks and that Mallory shit ain't gonna happen this time, I swear to God.
Are you bringing Frenchie back?
Frenchie, no, I ain't seen him in years.
He's consumed by one mission in life, to destroy superheroes, and this vendetta is driven by immense hatred for one supe in particular, Homelander, who is presumed to have assaulted and killed his wife Becca.
People love that cozy feeling that supes give them. But if you knew half the shit they get up to, fucking diabolical. That's where I come in.
Come in to do what?
Spank the bastards when they get out of line.
Billy is an incorrigible individual with clear goals and an unrelenting determination to achieve them. At the same time, no matter the circumstance, he's willing to do anything for those he loved. This began with his younger brother Lenny, who Butcher often protected from their abusive father. When Lenny took his life, feeling guilty for not having done enough to protect him, Butcher was broken. This lit the fuel of hatred within him that only grew with the eventual disappearance of Becca, turning him into a shell of his former self.
Not a murderer. That's all right. I am.
He did have a more caring and jovial side though. With that said, Becca was well aware of his capacity for violence and admitted that he was one bad day away from beating someone to death. And she was right. Following her disappearance, he became callous and even sadistic, evident in the delight he took in making opponents suffer.
I have worked for the feds. I work for loads of people. I'm what you might call an independent contractor. You got a problem, you call me, I solve the problem.
His ruthlessness is matched by his courage. He's one of the few humans to stand up to Homelander multiple times, despite the fact that he could snap him like a toothpick. Of course, this would eventually change with some upgrades, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. The darker, malevolent, more violent nature within comes from his father, who thought the abuse he inflicted on him as a child would make him stronger.
I wish you would be that.
You afraid of anything? No? Are you the strongest bastard you know? Yeah.
Tougher than I ever was.
While this has to a certain extent enabled him to survive till now, giving him thick skin, Butcher absolutely hates the man and despises being compared to him.
I just thought, when you saw how helpless he is now, he wouldn't have this hold over you, and you wouldn't become like...
Over time, Butcher developed a great hatred towards supes, regarding them all as being the same, unworthy humans with godly powers, capable of unimaginable horrors. With Kimiko and Starlight eventually joining the boys, he now concedes that some of them can be good, but he still believes the majority are a danger to society. It's no surprise then that when it comes to dealing with supes, Butcher does not show mercy.
Please! I told you everything I know. Please, just...
I know you did.
While he is mostly closed off emotionally, he will show compassion to those that have earned his trust. He holds Mallory in high regard, is great friends with Frenchie and considers Mother's Milk a very close friend, listening to him and even willing to put him in charge of watching out for Becca, who is the most precious thing to him in the world. It also appears as though Huey has come to represent his conscience, much like his brother Lenny had done in the past. Of course, he hates the fact that both Kimiko and Starlight are Supes, and has tried to kill them both a number of times.
Fucking run, Huey!
But he eventually warms up to the pair after seeing them consistently back up the boys. When Butcher is finally reunited with Becca, he's shocked to discover that she now had a son named Ryan. Because Homelander was the father, Butcher was unable to accept him, but when Ryan mortally wounded Becca by accident, she made Butcher promise to protect him with her dying breath.
You promised me you'd keep him safe.
When he took V-24 and began looking for Soldier Boy, he distanced himself from Ryan to protect him from the upcoming conflict, but went about it the wrong way, telling the boy that he was leaving with no intention of returning. Unfortunately, this ultimately pushed Ryan towards his biological father.
Well, maybe I don't want to look at you after what you've done to my Becca. Did you ever think about that?
To aid in their fight against the diabolical Superman, Billy has shown that he's capable of doing almost anything, including but not limited to many of the immoral and unethical things he accused Supes of doing, like consuming V-24. This gave him a number of amazing superpowers, which we're about to cover shortly. Before we do though, it should be noted how capable he was without them. As a former member of the SAS and having been trained by Colonel Grace Mallory, Butcher is a master combatant in peak human condition. Time and time again, he's shown that he's highly skilled, intelligent, and adaptable to all situations. He's also an expert marksman not to be trifled with. Whether it's a pistol, rifle, or a baby suit with heat vision, he has the kind of aim that would make Bullseye blush.
Look, Butcher's the guy you want in a shooting war. No question. But we're in peacetime.
What makes him a particularly prickly thorn to deal with is his gifted intelligence and years of experience in covert operations. With this, he's been able to lead the boys to stay one step ahead of both Vought and the Seven. Even Homelander couldn't help but admit he was impressed when Butcher hid Translucent's remains in a box composed of zinc, the only material he cannot see through. Given this, it's safe to say that he's a master tactician and strategist. Time and time again, Billy's able to come out of a traditionally unwinnable situation by using ingenuity. When he saw Black Noir hiding on a rooftop in his side view mirror, he forced Stan Edgar to call him off by threatening to expose Ryan's existence to the world. He also deducted that Homelander and Stormfront were in a relationship, and knew the cover story about Soldier Boy was fake long before anyone else. His intelligence extends to his skills in leadership, deception, and manipulation. He involved Frenchie by having Translucent see his face, convinced MM to return to the boys by lying about his association with Frenchie, and notably harnessed Huey's desire for vengeance against the Supes. He's proper diabolical when he wants to, and can be just as unpredictable and terrifying as Homelander. After consuming V-24, Butcher developed immense superhuman strength. With it, he sent gunpowder flying with a single punch, and effortlessly crushed a man's neck with one hand. He could also deal significant blows to Homelander. However, it should be noted that it took the combined strength of Butcher, Soldier Boy, and Huey to temporarily restrain him. The show is slowly revealing the extent of his superhuman durability, which has enabled him to take an extreme amount of punishment without having any severe injuries. He was unfazed when Homelander blasted him with his heat vision, and was barely hurt when the two of them engaged in a brutal fight. In fact, I think he only suffered a small cut on his left cheek, which is incredible when you consider how powerful Homelander is. The first fight at Herogasm showed his amazing new superhuman speed and reflexes that were nearly on par with Homelander, enabling him to dodge some of the attacks, much to the surprise of his enemy. Like Ryan and his father, Butcher can also generate powerful heat energy from his eyes. Although he initially lacked control over the heat vision, by the time he took a second dose of V-24, he no longer felt pain and could now use it with perfect control. It was now powerful and accurate enough to knock Homelander to the ground and leave a cut on Soldier Boy's face. It even blocked Homelander's own heat vision, though with noticeable strain to Butcher. While giving him a number of amazing powers, a doctor told Butcher the side effects of V-24. The substance had taken a tremendous toll on his body, and as a result, he had just over a year to live, honestly making him even more dangerous than before. After catching news that Victoria Newman was running for vice president, Butcher has added her to the list of enemies that must be destroyed. Ryan has also turned to the dark side, throwing a spanner in the works. Regardless, the years of operational experience, his indomitable will, coupled with his new superpowers, make Butcher one of the most exciting characters in the show, and I can't wait to see what diabolical plan he has for Victoria, Homelander, and the corporate wankers at Vought. Well, that's all for today, folks. A huge thanks to everyone who requested we jump back into The Boys. If there's anything else you'd like for me to cover, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film and Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.